Hello traders! Today we are going to talk about alerts. It's the final piece of whole our system that you have to be aware in order to use it. First of all, go to alerts editor. This is alarm icon, so you have to click on it and it will open alerts editor. What is alerts? Alerts are set of conditions that MarkTools has to meet in order to notify with your formation that takes place on your chart. Those conditions are defined by nodes. You can see on the charts you have a set of nodes. Each node has pin out and they have pin in. So once your condition is satisfied here, it tries to check your condition on the outcoming nodes. Once those conditions are satisfied, it checks the next one. And this is performed for every node that is drawn on your diagram. Once it meets the end, you'll get notified on your Telegram bot. Don't really pay attention to what exactly is drawn here. We will be clarifying this later. For now, just we have to understand the overall concept of alert system. Let's visually see what it does. Let's close it for now. And let me use drawing tools. I need path tool. Okay. For example, you have some price formations here where you have your move and general look of price actions. It's like you have a range here, then you have initiation phase, then you have mitigation phase, and after the mitigation you have continuation phase. In your setups, you usually want to see this formation that meets your range zone. Then it gets reflected and create this continuation move that update this pivot. And once it updates, it means it reaches your targets. And based on this, let's draw a real example of some kind of real simple formation. Let's say I have 4-hour POI. In this 4-hour POI, I'm waiting for a pullback. Once I have this pullback, I go to 1-hour POI, 1-hour time frame, and in this 1-hour time frame, I'm looking for a reversal as well. Let's say this price action takes place on a 1-hour time frame. So I have here like this and this. Boom. On 1 hour, I have a boss here. It's our 4-hour boss. It's our 1-hour time frame boss. After this 1-hour time frame boss, I'd like to see 15 minutes time frame boss. So having this 1-hour POI, I'm waiting for another pullback that mitigates this zone, and also looking for 15 minutes break of structure. Okay, I've got it. And let's say after 15 minutes boss, I'm looking for some kind of Quasimodo pattern in 15-minute POI. 15 minutes POI. So on my 5 minutes, I'm waiting for sweep. I've got this sweep, and then on 1 minute, I'm waiting for break of structure. Break of structure and mitigating this 1 minute POI. So here like this, and then 1 minute, and let's mark it like 4-hour boss. then 1 hour boss, then 15-minute boss, this is 5 sweep, 5-minute sweep, and this one is 1 minute, one boss. Once again, we have 4 hour POI. In this POI, we are waiting for pullback. Once it mitigates this zone, we are looking for reversal, 1 hour break of structure. Once we have it, we are waiting for 15 minutes break of structure and this POI. Once we have that one, we are waiting for Quasimodo pattern. So pretty simple scenario, like ideal probably one, but still it shows what we need. And using alerts, we want to find this particular scenario. Let me create fresh tab, and this brand new tab, we are trying to simulate this scenario. So first we add 4 hour POI. Then after 4 hour POI, we need to wait until we have 1 hour POI. Once we have 1 hour POI, we are waiting for 15 minutes POI. We add 15 minutes POI. And after 15 minutes POI, we are waiting for Quasimodo pattern M5 M1. And we add sweep with confirmation on 1 minute. Oh, I didn't set 5 minute. 5 minute sweep with confirmation in 1 minute. This diagram shows exactly this scenario. Of course, it has wide settings right now, but we didn't go through all of them, so just disregard that. Just assume it follows this scenario. And once all of those conditions takes place at the same time, we will get notified via Telegram bot. It means that once we have notified with that, we need to go to our chart. We need to go to our chart and see whether our formation is drawn in chart. I actually good looking for your eyes. Hopefully everything was clear with that, and now I want to go through all of those notes we have here and try to explain what's it all about and how you can adjust in order to uh, make your settings really precise to your expectations. Before we start, let's take a look at overall components that Alerts Editor has. First, we have tabs. By tabs, you want to split your diagrams by different tabs so that they don't look messy in one chart. Let's say here I want to use only for, let's say, crypto. Here I want to use for my forex pairs. Here I want to use for commodities, and so on and so forth. By clicking on plus, you just add new tab. By clicking on X, you remove it. By double click on the name of the tab, you want to give it some name. And by clicking enter, apply this name. So use it for splitting your diagrams. Okay, then you have toolbar menu where you have all your nodes specified here, and also 3 dots that will open general settings for your alerts. Here you can set when your alerts would be fired from Monday to Friday from 9 to 6 p.m. Also, you could activate weekends separately. There is a possibility to get updated with news, trading news. You could activate it. In order to get those news, you could specify what kind of majority of those news. You could specify what kind of pairs. All of these news are taken from Forex Factory. Also, you could specify sessions. We have 4 kind of sessions: Asia, Frankfurt, London, New York. By including it, you'll be notified when session opens, when session closes, when kill zone opens, when kill zone closes, so you can adjust it for each session separately. Also, there is a don't show expired setups flag. It's all about when your alert is not relevant anymore, it will show you the notification about that. If you turn it off, you wouldn't have those notifications. By default, it's off. There is an option to import a stored set. You could use or export it. If you export it, it will put in your downloads file. You can share it with someone else, and once someone else gives it to you, you could just simply import it. Then you could save as your current diagram. Let's say I want to give it a name, those particular diagram, I want to give it a name like my temp diagram, and I save it. You see it appears here, and for example, if I remove this one, save it, and I want to restore it later on, I just click on my boom, my pre-saved diagram, and it will open. It will pop in what was saved before. And go to Telegram bot is a button that lets you open our Telegram bot, sign in there, and get notified with all of your alerts, either by wheel or by gesture on your Mac. You could zoom in, zoom out, click left click and move it left, right, up and down to pan it. Then each node could be activated by simple clicking on it. Once you click on node, it will show the settings for each particular node. You could do multiple selection, like you just press shift and then do drag and drop by your mouse or by your touchpad. And once you activated them, you could move them here and there, or you could remove it. Okay. I guess everything is clear with that. All kind of nodes have this flag called on. Using this flag, you could activate or deactivate the particular condition and all its children. For example, here I have deactivated 12 hours POI. It means that I excluded the whole branch that goes from this 12-hour POI. So it won't be monitored on our end. If I include it, it starts monitoring it. For each node, you could add some nodes. You could add whatever you want here, just in order to give some explanation, because you will have a lot of those nodes here, and sometimes you need to have some specific details for it, like drawn manually, so that only you can understand that. For each node, you could add child by clicking either on these nodes, you add them. For example, I add another POI, or you could just add root node, but then just clicking on pin out and moving your cursor on the needed node. You just release your mouse here and it will connect to it also. So in these two ways you can specify a children node for your parental node. For mostly all nodes you could set the name of it. So here you have a text box where I could name it in a way you understand it more clearly. Let's say I wanna call this 12 hours POI, like 12 hours boss. And you can see that it changed on this side. Also, once you change the name, the time frame icon will appear next to indicator what kind of node it is. And then there is this exit icon. It moves your current node to some other tabs. For example, I want to move this node to, let's say, to Forex tab. I could choose it Forex and apply. Boom. And all my nodes are moved here. It moves the current node and all its children to the specified tab. And here you could see it's empty right now. Let me move it back to the models. Okay. That's probably all about shared settings between all of the nodes. Let's just now start considering every particular node. Let me move to Forex, for example. First node is a timing node. By this node, you could specify from what in what time range you have to consider your formations. Here you have two settings, from and to. They're specified in your time zone, the time zone that you set in your settings here. General, and then you want to find your time zone. So those time zone is used for your charting, and also it's used for alerts. So here you want to specify in what time range you want to look for your particular formations. Let's say going back to our example we're drawn here, and I want to have this formation taking place, let's say from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. And in order to do that, I'm going to my node here. I'm now going to my node here and specify from 9 to 12. Once I specified that, I could create a child, and this child would be checked only when your time zone is satisfied. It means that I am between 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. There is a group node. What it does, it lets you, let's say you have a few scenarios here, and you can group it. You can group it like this. In order to refer to them. Let's say after 1 hour POI, I could refer to this group, or I could add another scenario branch, and also I can group to this. I can refer to this group as well. So you could set a predefined set of nodes here, and then reference them from different spots of your diagram. Then there is a interesting node is called reference. Let me just save it and let me call this group like, I don't know, LTF. Okay, I call this group like LTF, and on this my huge diagram, let's say after 12 hours POE, I want to also refer to this LTF. In order to do that, I'm adding reference here, click on this link button, and here I'm choosing LTF from my Forex tab. So here you have a list of tabs, and each in every node that has this tab. For my particular example, I'm looking for Forex tab and LTF node. This particular node called reference allows you to refer to existing nodes from different spot of your diagrams. Also, there is important moment about references. Let me go here and draw it. Let's say I add a reference here and refer to our LTF node. Then I want to remove links to it. And let me activate everything. If you leave in this way, MarkTools will treat this LTF as a root node, and it will start monitoring it as well. It means you will get a lot of notification by these LTF setups. So in order to exclude it, you want to take it off. But when you are dealing with references, a reference node actually disregards this visibility flag. You can see here that it's off, but a reference node override those flags and it uses its own. For example, right now I am within this time range, then I've got 1 hour POE, and after this 1 hour POE, I'm going to reference is on, and it refers to this LTF, and LTF actually refers to those nodes. So it still works as far as it inside reference node. Okay, the next node is POE. POE node, it's all about break of structures, meaning structural POEs, or its order blocks. By this kind of POE, you can detect both of them. First, you have here a time frame. It's what time frame you have to consider to look for our POEs. Then we could specify long and short, meaning only bullish POEs or bearish POEs, or use both. Then the name. The name we already talked. For mostly all the settings you have in the POE, you've got these tips. So clicking on it, it will give you a clue what's that setting is about. So for every of them. You could see that, right? So first settings is a type. It's type of POE. You have primary, slave, or last boss. Primary POE. It's the most recent regardless of whether it's bullish or bearish. For example, for our case, the most recent is this bullish POE. And it's a primary. On the opposite direction, the most recent is the slave POE. For example, for bullish, for this particular example, we have this as a primary POE, and for bearish, we have this as a slave POE. And last boss is just the last boss you have on your charts. In my particular example, this BB2 is our last boss. Okay. So using those settings, you could specify what kind of poise you are looking at. And of course, if you click on tip, it will also give you a brief description of what it is. So primary poise, it's the most recent one. Slave poise, it's the most recent one on the opposite direction. And the last boss, it is the most recent boss. Also, it's most recent boss regardless of whether it's internal structure or swing structure. Then you have two settings, a group of settings, FVGs and point sweeps. There are four FVGs that goes after this node, and those are for any poise and S sweeps that goes after this node. Here you can specify on what phase you are expecting to have those FVGs. So if you take a look at your tip, now remember the price action has a range: initiation, mitigation move, and continuation move. And here you want to specify on what phase of your price action you want to see your FVGs. By default, for all poise, FVGs are considered only on initiation move. And for point sweeps, they're considered on mitigation move. So here's your POI, here's initiation move, and here's mitigation move. For example, if sweep takes place on initiation move, it will be disregarded. Hopefully it's clear. Then test. It's what to do with the POI, whether your FVGs have to be in, as you see here, in premium zone, in discount zone, or it could be just on intersection of your POI itself, or it will be just ignored. So here you want to specify where it has to be. And the same thing for POI and sweeps. You have test, premium, and any. If you click on it, you will have the same tip. For example, if I'm considering sweeps only in premium zone, my price has to reach premium and only then draw the sweep. Whatever happened before reaching the premium zone here will be disregarded. And any means I am interested in any cases, like if it either tests POI zone or it just reaches the premium and discount zone. Okay, liquidity. Remember when we were talking about significance of the POI, we could specify here what kind of POI we are interested in. For example, it's all about this settings. So by default, it has any. I want to see any POI that has any sweep. Okay, so it's shown here. Beside those settings that are affecting your alerts, you could also specify that you want to see only those POIs that did something with your liquidity. For example, I want to see the POI that did TTP pattern. Just a second. So here I also have brief tips about what it is. But here's a great example. For example, I have this structural POI, which is caused by boss. And this POI was based on TDP pattern. So I'll be considering only those, in case if I check them, that has based on TDP pattern. The same thing for cascade. You could see if POI grabbed some cascade liquidity, it will be detected by this sweep. If it grabs some equal lows or highs, it could be also detected, and you can define what kind of liquidity your POE has to grab. With these particular cases, you could really refine your results, because without it, you will be flooded with a lot of alerts in your system. So be careful with that and adjust only what you need. Don't do those settings too wide. Here also you could specify swing. So if your POE grabs any swings of your structure, or if it's based inside other POE, or if it's based inside imbalance, or it made some sweep of any kind of liquidities. Remember that sweep is something that sweeps your liquidity with the wick, and rate it's swept your liquidity with the body. So you could adjust those kind of liquidities here. Beside those, you have previous day lows and highs, previous week lows and highs, and month lows and highs. Also, you could, probably it would be interested for Forex traders, you could adjust Asia lows, Frankfurt lows, highs, London lows, highs, and New York lows, highs. Okay. And there is a last setting for every root node. For every root node, you could specify what exact tickers they'll be applied on. Let's say I have some special scenario that is applied only for some particular pair. Let's have it BTC. It means that all my LTF root LTFs would be applied only for BTC tickers. If you tickers on for your alerts, it still will be considering only BTC. Or if you disregard this option, it would consider for any tickers that you have specified. So as you define the set of the set of scenarios here, and those scenarios will be applied for tickers that you are choosing here. That's those flags that you activate in order to apply those scenarios for your particular tickers. For example, right now I have 1, 2, 3, up to 10 tickers selected for my alerts, and all my scenario will be checked with all of those single tickers. If you want to exclude some of those, you just make it unflagged here. The next one is FVG. Let's say I want to have 1 hour POE, and after this 1 hour POE, I want to have FVG. Now let me activate it. Okay, and those FVG, remember, they'll have those settings in terms of where they have to be placed relating to this 1 hour POE. And here you don't have a lot of settings, you just have what time frame it has, also what bias it should be, and the fill percentage. It meaning how much your imbalance has to be filled. And if we are taking this particular example, we are looking for those imbalances that are placed on initiation move. And once the price reaches and tests this imbalance, both of your condition inside your POE, of course, on your initiation move, your both condition would be satisfied. And then, let's say after this, I have some sweep, and only then this sweep would be activated. So FVG is just for FVG. You could say, let's say I have it like at least 50% filled, and only then then I would consider this chain of conditions as a okay. And the next node is a sweep node. They're all about sweeps and rates. Here you also have a time frame, on what time frame you're looking for your sweeps, then bias, and then the name. And let's say I wanna change it to M5, and let's call it with a Quasimodo pattern M5 M1. Here you can also have some tips for all of those settings we have here. Can be rate. It means whether the sweep could be a rate, so it means that it grabs liquidity with the body, or it should be just a regular sweep. Then allow incomplete. Incomplete, it means that you sweep with this parameter off. It should be based only on those bars that are already closed. And if you allow these options, it will consider your sweeps on real-time bar 2. Usually for bigger sweeps, higher time frame sweeps, I keep this on because I don't wait until the candle is closed, and if I see that on LTF it draws what I like, I already use it as a sweep, so like in advance. Then test. By this option you could specify whether the price has to reach sweep zone. Sweep zone, it's a level of sweeping to the very high or the very low of your sweep candle. In this particular example, you see that this wick sweeps this liquidity that happened in the history, and it formed this sweep zone from this level of sweeping to the very top. And by these settings, you would tell the system whether the price action has to reach this test zone in order to mark this condition as validated. Confirmations. All the sweep needs a confirmation. Once you got a sweep on some particular time frame, on a low time frame, usually you want to have a confirmation as a break of structure. And here you see that this candle, and it's here, it was here, and then on my LTF I have break of structure, and this break of structure confirms that it's a sweep. And here you want to specify what kind of confirmation you want to have those kind of for that particular time frame sweep. Here I could say, let's say, any sweep that takes place on a chart, and after it we have confirmation as a break of structure for on a 1 minute time frame or on a 3 minute time frame, and only then your sweep would be validated here. So do remember to specify your confirmation here. It will also refine your results and won't flood you with a lot of useless setups. Then liquidity. It's pretty similar to what we have in employee. Here you could specify that your sweep was based on TDP pattern, or it's grab some cascade liquidity, or it grabs some equal lows, or it just grabs some swings. Also previous days lows, the same thing like in POI. So I wouldn't go through them again. And inside zones, here you want to specify extra condition where sweep takes place. For example, you could see here you have two kind of zones. It's whether a sweep is happening in FVG or it's happening inside other POI. And here you want to set on what time frame and what POI you want to see your sweep. Here we have what? We have M5, M1. and I'd be happy to have it only in, let's say, 15, 30, 1 hour, 4 hour FVGs. So my sweep, my quasi-model pattern would be validated only if my sweep takes place in those particular imbalances, regardless where the placing on your diagram. So it's like extra option, extra settings for your sweeps. For many of you, probably it would be important to have those sweeps, not just in the air somewhere in the sky, they have to be important and grab some liquidity inside something. So here I just specify where exactly it could be. And also, let's say I always have to have sweeps, let's say in 15 minutes boy, okay? So all my M5, M1 would be either in imbalances or inside this M15 boy. Okay, that's all about sweeps. And the last parameter we have left to discuss, it's pre-fire. It's a good example. Let's say I have this chain of, and let me just draw one more node here, like this. Let's say I'm not using those confirmation like here, okay? And I'm using it like this. So it would be just M5 sweep and 5 poi. Meaning I have 1 hour poi, then in this 1 hour poi I should have 1 hour FVG. Inside this FVG I have to have M5 sweep, and inside this, after this 1M sweep, I have to have 1 minute poi. But what I want, sometimes on, let's say, even on a forex market, when you have this quasi-model pattern M5 and M1, you're really pressed for time in order to enter your position, and you want to be notified a little bit earlier. So for this particular case, all my conditions until you have a break of structure wouldn't be satisfied, but I could set pre-fire for M5 sweep, and it means if I have 1, 2, 3 conditions satisfied, I'll get alert. So it would be a trigger for me to get my charts and be ready to enter the position as soon as 1 minute break of structure takes place on the chart. So it's just for you to be ready for your really low time frame setups where they take just immediate time to form. Okay, that's it, guys. Hopefully everything was clear with that. In case you have any question regarding arrows, please feel free to ask us. We are looking forward to helping you. See you.